All right, welcome to the Troubadour Show. Today I'm going to do a reaction video. It's been a while since I've done one of these, and I've done them mostly for rap videos that people recommended, and I'll probably try to get back into doing some of those. They were kind of interesting, and people seem to enjoy them. But last night I was at a gathering of some objectivists in San Antonio. And by the way, if you don't live in San Antonio or Austin, you need to be, especially if you're an Ayn Rand fan, because we're all here. There's a big group of us. Just as an example, I gave a little gathering at my house 2 weeks ago, and there were over 50 objectivists at that in my house. So you need to come here. You need to enjoy all the great individuals and of all different types who have only one thing in common, that they're Ayn Rand fans. So anyway, we're at this gathering, and I'm not the most musical person, and it tends to come up that I'm not a very musical person because I love literature, I love poetry, I love visual arts, I love the theater, I love all that stuff, I love history. But the music I enjoy, but I just have not been able to get into it in the way that I have with other arts. And we were having a conversation about the movie Whiplash, and I brought up a question of the innate. Is there something innate in nature or innate in ourselves where it requires intense suffering to achieve true greatness? Where there's kind of a pathway that you have to go through of suffering. And someone and I brought up this movie, and I brought up the movie Whiplash, and some of the people didn't really enjoy the level of hardship that the teacher made the student go through and all that good stuff. And we kind of talked about that. And then, and I asked the question, okay, so where are examples of someone who didn't go through great suffering? And someone brought up the drummer from Rush. So this is the movie Whiplash, by the way. So this is the movie Whiplash. If you haven't seen it, it's J Simmons and Miles Teller. Great movie. Even if you don't agree with my premise, it's still a highly dramatic, exhilarating movie to watch. It's an edge of your seat thriller about a drummer. There's no murder or anything. It's just a thriller about a drummer, and it's interesting. A jazz drummer. So anyway, we had this conversation. They brought up Tom Sawyer, or they brought up this drummer from Rush, and they started to show me this video that I'm going to react to, and that is the video that is again, it's Tom Sawyer is the name. So I started listening to the opening scenes, and I was like, let me do a reaction video for this, because this will be interesting. I've never really listened to Rush, and I know a lot of objectivists, a lot of Ayn Rand fans who really swear by them and love them. And apparently this drummer also really enjoyed Ayn Rand in his youth or whatever. I think there's an album people talk about called Anthem, which is inspired by Ayn Rand's Anthem. So anyway, I thought it would be an interesting reaction video to do. So I'm going to do a reaction. I'm just going to watch it. I did not watch the whole video yesterday. I only watched some of the opening clips. So a lot of this is new, and I'm going to particularly pay attention to the drumming. That's why the people chose this. The people at the gathering chose this because it showcases the drummer. I forget his name. And how excellent he is. And they were making the argument, well, he comes from like a middle-class, Canadian people. Like, he comes from middle-class Canada, so he's not going through immense suffering, and he's still one of the greatest, if not the greatest drummer of all time. That's their argument. I don't know how to measure that. But anyway, so I'm going to watch this and see what happens and see if I enjoy the song and so on. So enjoy, sit back, enjoy, and here we go.
Tom Sawyer, mean pride.
I do notice he has a lot of drum stuff. Again, I don't know anything about music.
Though his mind is not for him, don't put him down as arrogant. His reserve a quiet defense, writing out the day's events.
I like it.
What you say about his company is what you say about society. Catch the mist
interesting vocal.
The world is love and life are deep.
Okay.
Maybe as the skies are wide. The days Tom Sawyer, he gets high on you, and the space he invades, he gets by on you.
Techno stuff. I haven't seen anything wonderful. So for copyright, I need to pause once in a while. I apologize, but I haven't seen anything wonderful on the drums. I enjoyed the drumming. I feel like a good high school drummer might be able to do that, though. I haven't seen anything Whiplash-esque, if you've ever seen that show. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Is I'm looking for that Whiplash moment, because they tuned it up for that. So we'll see, because they said he's as great as what they have in that, which is like one of the all-time great jazz drummers. And let's see. I enjoy the beat, but I think like a good amateur drummer could do what he's doing at this point. Again, this is coming from my ignorance. It's cute. Head bopping music. There we go. You hit 4 things. This guy is good. Okay, there he's going a little bit. I think the guitarist is better than the drummer at this point. Technical virtuosity. I mean, that drummer's definitely... Alright. He went down. Okay.
No, his mind is not for rent to any god or government. Always hopeful yet discontent. Those changes aren't permanent. More changes.
And that last 20 seconds he did pretty good.
What you say about his company is what you say about society. Catch the witness, catch the wit, catch the spirit, catch the spit.
Catch the spit. Okay. I'm not gonna do that. Sorry.
The world is love and life are deep.
So deep.
Maybe as his eyes are wide. Exit the warrior, today's Tom Sawyer. He gets high on you, and the energy you trade, he gets right on to the friction of the day.
I don't know why that techno song gets me. I don't know, it makes me think of Ross from Friends when he does his little electro stuff. Like, I don't know, that techno's like, all right, and whatever they call this stuff. Upbeat rock music fades. Chemistry visualizer, okay. It's an interesting follow-up video. Yeah, I love that. That was fun. I mean, I know it was kind of sounding like I was criticizing it, but it was so fun. Great? No, I don't see it as great. I don't understand how people think that's great. I mean, I guess I don't know what's great is in music. Like, do people not have standards? Like I can name off something, like I can give you explanations as to why Dostoevsky is great as a novel in the form of novel. What makes this great? And he was a good drummer. Sure. Enjoyable. Yeah. Great. I don't know. I don't think so. I think it was very like, but when people are hearing me say this, I have a feeling they're going to be like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. And it's true. I don't know what I'm talking about. But there is something called like I've seen drumming. I've seen, like I saw, what was it? Like, I was a Motley Crue. What was it? Tommy Lee, when he did that like surround thing and like he was floating around and he went crazy. And that to me was on the level of great. Or when I've like when they showed, in the movie Whiplash, when they were talking about who is the hero, the young kid, like there was a real jazz drummer he kept referring to, and I'm forgetting his name, but the Birdman, I think they called him. And there's some moments like that where they talk about like just the going off, and that's part of what makes jazz interesting, is you can kind of riff off each other, and they have that. And again, I'm just getting into jazz a little bit. I'm liking it. Because of that kind of communication that goes on with jazz, I think makes it more dynamic, at least for a modern type of music, where most of it's even, what's called deep. And, like here, he even says, this is deep, in a sense, like life is deep. It's like, oh, is it? Okay, great. No one's ever said that before. And, and I love Tom Sawyer, the book, by the way, Mark Twain and Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer. I think they're great. So, I think I kind of understand what they're trying to say with the message of it. Tom Sawyer, the young boy, the adventurous young boy who's, kind of out on his own, and there's something they're trying to say about that, but wasn't super clear. Because again, I don't in poetry, there's actually much more of a clarity in great classic poetry that I've read than people think. And a lot of modern music seems to think that obscurity is the same thing as ambiguity, and it's not. So being too abstract and too obscure is not a good thing, in my view. So again, this is all coming from a place of, I enjoyed this. I will listen to this again. I will bop to this in the car, and it's poppy. It's cute. Yeah, I get it. And, but people are overselling the hell out of this Rush thing. I'm sorry. Now, maybe there's other songs, maybe there's something else. I want to hear it. Let me know. I'll explore. Maybe there's something that will, and I could definitely see it a few, years. I'll be like, this is like my Dean Martin. It's very cute. I like Dean Martin. Yeah, it's simple. And, this is obviously more complex, but Dean Martin, I think, had better things to say than this. He had silly little things, but I think they were deeper than saying life is deep. And, because that's the stupidest thing. That's the stupidest thing you could say in any kind of art, is life is deep. I'm sorry. It's like, great. Ooh. But I really appreciate, I don't want to tell people not to give me these recommendations because I enjoy them. It was, again, I want to stress, I enjoy them. Great thou art not. At least not this song. At least not on a good standard. So, my premise still stands. Greatness requires suffering. That's it. That's innate in nature. You have to, it's embedded. If there was a God, he put his magical tentacles and made, if you want true greatness, you have to suffer. That, I don't know. There's no other premise I know of. Maybe the suffering isn't, your parents have to be slaughtered in front of you and you have to have everything taken away from you and you have to be in a Russian gulag. I don't think that is the necessary what means by suffering. But even this Rush guy, I bet, went through immense amount of pain to get to where he is, and challenge and difficulty, which is demonstrated in the movie Whiplash, which is why that's a great movie. It's because to get to bypass that level, whatever you want to do in life, whatever you need, there's an uphill challenge, and that is embedded in the progress of our minds and the way that we do things, and that is demonstrated metaphorically by this relationship between these two characters. That the teacher character takes on that reality of pushing his kids, especially the one that he believes is truly great, which requires even more challenge. Like, you have to bleed for it. You don't just do it sitting on a couch. You're not going to achieve the greatest drummer of all time, which is what he's trying to go for. And maybe Rush is, which means that there's not very many great drummers then, I think, because he's a good drummer. I've seen, drum offs that were better than this. Like I saw where, like the Red Hot Chili Pepper guy did one. And it was great. And I've seen, like, and Rush, this guy did some cool, like, he was going fast and it was good. Like, yeah, this guy is legit, no doubt, but I don't know. Could he like go off and do a Birdman moment? I don't know. Show me something great. Okay. So that's my reaction and I'm sticking to it. Thank you for everybody who referred me to this. Even though I, attacked your band, please don't hate me for it. I still really, really liked it. But, in the same way that I like, okay, that's an exaggeration. All right, goodbye. And I'll see you next time.